Ray, good morning. Welcome back to KEEL, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning, KEEL. Good morning, Bossier.
Explain it to everybody for yourself. You've been doing a ton of really interesting things since you left the Army. How did you get into the water business, and what motivated you to do so?
Well, let me give it to you this way. We've got over 1,200, let's say 40 water systems in Louisiana, which one of them is Bossier. Of that, 400 of them are at risk because most of these systems went in and around World War II and following, when we last big push we had on our infrastructure which was to get water and safe water into people in Louisiana's homes. And everything has a shelf life to it. It wears out. And water over the last few years since I've been dealing with the Green Army, which started in 2012, has been an issue in Louisiana because of our deteriorating systems. When Governor Edwards got in office, he had to add approximately 30 water testers back into the state staffing system because the previous governor had cut their positions in his austerity program to reduce the size of government. So we have been playing catch-up in the last couple years here. First, getting a good assessment of what was the problem. And number two, it's been like whack-a-mole. We started off with St. Joe. The state had to declare an emergency there. Then we went to Tallulah, and now we have problems in Donaldsonville. We have problems, up in Bossier right now. Mm-hmm. But it's all over the state. We have a problem with our drinking water system.
What's the biggest problem in Bossier as you see it?
I'm sorry?
What's the biggest problem with the water in Bossier as you see it?
Right now, it looked like Bossier would have all the equipment it needs. I think they may ask the state or the EPA to come in and do some confidence testing to build confidence in the people that the water that they're getting is safe. But the other issue Bossier has is that we're getting requests from help from citizens because of two things: that they say the water has a high chlorine smell to it. It's causing rashes on some people, is what they're thinking. And the second problem Bossier leadership has, they're not communicating with the people. Bossier needs to understand everybody in America is worried about the water because of Flint. Bossier needs to understand there are people in Flint going to jail now who ran the water system.
Now, that's an interesting point. Pardon me, sir. That's an interesting point you just made. Are you implying that the city government, the city government in Bossier City, is involved in some kind of criminal activity?
No, but the people in Flint didn't think they were either.
Do you have another issue with?
We're going to get some outside testing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they have a responsibility to provide clean water. What I said is what happened in Flint, and in Flint they had information that was suppressive, which give people today, when you talk about water, people are suspicious. Understand me well. I'm not saying people in the government in Bossier should be going to jail. I didn't say that. But that's the downside of not communicating with the people and not doing the proper testing. And the people are complaining. The people in Flint were complaining. Nobody listened to them. So we will work with the citizens to get some outside testing done. I've talked to the governor's office, his assistant chief of staff. They assured me that the Department of Health is communicating with the city of Bossier. But that being said, we're going to try to get some water testing done next week and get it to Virginia Tech, to Dr. Edwards, the same guy that tested the water in Flint. But right now, my recommendation is that the city government in Bossier communicate with their people and build confidence that the water is safe.
You also wrote in this email, General, you wrote in your email that Bossier has an $80 million state-of-the-art new water treatment plant that they are not using to its capabilities or capacity in order to save money. You believe that, and do you think that's going to change with all this mess?
I think this has to be validated. According to the state, they are using both water systems when they ask the city of Bossier. I don't have a name to quote, but I'm told by state officials that when they queried the leadership in Bossier in the last couple of days, that the city is using both of them. Whether they optimize them, I don't know. I'm trying to get the state and the EPA out of Dallas to come do a spot inspection of that water system, and we're going to try to get the water test out of Bossier in the next few days and send it off to Virginia Tech to get it tested. You
say also the privatization of Bossier's water system has been a disaster. That's your words. Is that, are you seeing that in other communities, that privatizing city water systems is just not working?
Oh, that's a big deal. Well, let me just say, the city of Atlanta got privatized water. Baton Rouge got privatized water. It comes down to the company doing what they're supposed to. Baton Rouge Water Company is a privately held company, and it happened decades ago, and we have good water. So it comes down to this company. Now, there's a trend going on in Louisiana among in the industry to take over and privatize water. And if this is the beginning of it in Bossier, if they're going to do more business, they're going to have to get a better reputation than this. But at the end of the day, the elected official in Bossier, I'm just saying this again, by the law, the elected official in Bossier are responsible for that water. Just remember what's going on in Michigan right now, as well as the state person who's telling me the water is safe. Because the next step is to get some independent water testing in, and we'll try to get that done next week.
We will be in touch. We'd love to find out about that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good luck up there, and let's try to keep the people informed of what you can get out of the city, please.
You bet. We sure will, General. Thanks for your time.
Bye.